and it's putting it into recommendations into somebody else's, which I would find easier to take.
Okay. All right. I've got Director Lambert and then Director Greenway, and then back to you, Director Hatcher. Okay.
Thanks, Chair. Couple things. The only thing I understand with the independent review, but then we have to use taxpayers' money to pay somebody to tell us that we need a raise. So I don't know about that. And if we end up at the bottom, like if we shoot at the medium now and we end up at the bottom again, so what? Right? Like we're at the bottom now. So if we move up so that we're at the bottom again here for the next thing, you know, like do we really need to have an independent review on that? We're still at the bottom. I'm okay with that. I didn't take this job to make a bunch of money, obviously. The other thing I do like with Shirley is that two things. I don't want to open it up every year, but I do like the adjustment over the 4 years. That would lessen the blow to the taxpayers, but to open it up to open this can of worms every year, I think it's a little bit much, but you know, like I'm okay at if we increased it to whatever the medium would be now. Yeah, it's not going to hurt my feelings that we're going to be at the bottom again in 4 years, right? When we do this again. So those are just my thoughts. I just, an independent review, I just fear is they just say what we already know and what we already know where we probably should be, and we have to pay them $50,000 to tell us that, right? So I think if we're, you know, close to the bottom, our taxpayers will understand that we are looking out for them and we're not just throwing their money, you know, like, oh, I just gave myself another 20% raise, you know. Yeah. But we just need to be, you know, I don't think we have to be at the top of the pack or necessarily in the middle of the pack. It's okay to be kind of hanging back a little bit, but those are just my thoughts.
All right. Director Greenway.
Yeah, I really went over this and I talked to Director Moon and I talked to Manager Illish, and we talked about how much it would be to raise the taxes, and for 1A it's only $3. That's for a house that's $500,000, and $5 for 1B. But I do see where a 25% wage increase is not going to sit very well with our taxpayers, and they're losing their $200 from their taxes already. I do understand that. And there's a lot of things going on in different regional areas. So I'm all in favor of 1A.
Okay. Director Hatcher.
Last time.
No problem.
With respect, I think the job of the board is to view the governance structure of the organization. And so this isn't about whether or not it's a 25% wage increase. It's about whether or not the board, whether or not the regional district is in a position to attract good people. So, you know, can people of different backgrounds, different income levels, different intelligence and ability to contribute, will they find a place at this table? So it's not actually about whether or not any one of you can afford this or would like it to be something different. It's about an overall structure and whether or not this table is attractive enough to a variety of people to actually seek office. People of different ages, different incomes, different backgrounds. That's the point. Whether or not it's outsourced or done internally, I don't really have a strong opinion at the town. We've outsourced it for a while, sometimes to volunteer committees and sometimes to consultants. And it is up to us you know, it's fine to say it's a 25% increase, and we know the pluses and minuses of saying that. If it's 25% of $1 million, that's a lot of money. If it's 25% of $40,000, it's not a lot of money. So you all actually know that information, and it's how you present it. So the job of the board is to review this credibly against your peers, which are the other regional districts. I would suggest doing it once makes sense. You don't want to have this conversation every year, and you're setting the tone for the future. So some of you will be at this table, and there will be new people as well. What creates the opportunity for other people to consider this and to ensure that there is good people at the table in the future going forward, and that you have a good platform for this review 4 years from now. Thanks.
Thanks. And I think just maybe a little more on that as well. I think you have to look back, and so in the last 8 years, for anybody that's been here, 8, even 4, have you seen that increase in your workload as far as a director? Is it 10 or 20, or do you feel it's 30% more than you did when you very first started? How do you value the time commitment that's there now compared to what it was, right? Is it continuing to build? Second aspect too is that now for anybody at like to Mayor Attrell or to Director Attrell's point is, if you are trying to attract good quality people to run, but maybe they own a business or they're working, the wage that they're taking off these days is to take a day off of work is fairly substantial. And secondly, if you have a business and you're hiring somebody to cover so that you can do this job for your constituents, it's higher than it was 4 years or 8 years ago nowadays to have somebody drive your truck or to, you know, cover something for you or to your business, or to even if it's, you know, for clerks at a till, it costs more these days. So again, it's just weighing all of those things. And I understand that the perceptive as well of a double digit increase, whether it's 10 or it's 25, it's a double digit. But you just have to take that whole big picture and see where it sits as directors. You're the ones that know as directors what your commitment is now. How much time are you taking off work? How much, again, of that total take home at on that shows on the Sophie, how many of that did you actually have to go back and pay out to cover your businesses or your own wages or take time off work? So you just, there's a lot more to just looking at that one number of what we get as far as that's it. That's what we get to take home. There's expenses that go with it for a lot of people. If you're trying to attract new people that are not retired, and that's all they're doing. So I'll leave it at that. Anybody else? Go ahead, Director Stoltenberg.
Thank you, Chair. I look around this table, and what do I see? I see the last bastion of people who create a sense of community where they live. That's what we do. We're the last bastion. You can look at provincial politics. You can look at federal politics. Maybe we should do like they do. The 1st of April every year, we give ourselves a raise. You know how mad that makes me when they do that? So, I've got it better than everybody else because I'm so old that I'm retired. So I don't have a business that I have to look after anymore. And I can appreciate the people who do have businesses that sit at this table. So, I don't know. For me, I don't know which way we should go, because I look at it that if you throw enough money out there, you're going to end up with people that are only there for the money.
Yep.
They're not there for their sense of community. So I'm just going to sit back and let everybody else hash out what they want to create for a wage. Thank you.
You're going to sit back. Director Stoltenberg is going to sit back. Wow. There you go. All right. Well, if anybody, I know I've got a couple of comments. So I don't know about you, Director Reese-Christensen, if you want to put that as an amendment. Because we do have a motion on the floor. I don't know if you want to put that on there as...
Put me on the spot now because I didn't have an exact figure.
Yeah.
And right now it says, yeah, sorry, Chair Parker.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah, right now it says a reviewer to be absent for some reason, the chair or vice chair is considered alternate check signer. That works for me. In terms of an increase, I really haven't got anything in mind. I don't feel that necessarily what, is paid for the position right now is less than what is adequate.
But we still would need something if you want it to come back, like if we do vote on this motion, I mean, I do want something, right? We need that to be part of that moving forward. So it's up to you. I mean, you can, if you think it's okay we can leave it as is and.
Okay, I'd make a motion that, oops, my screen just
Amendment.
went to sleep. The position of check signer be increased to $2,000 a month and that the alternative be the chair or the vice chair.
Okay. Seconder? Okay, Director Lambert? Any discussion on that?
Can you say that back? I'm really having a hard time hearing today. It's really muffled for some reason. What the motion is?
You want to do it? The amendment, yeah, it's not a motion, it's an amendment.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. The motion was that the position of check signer be increased to $2,000 per month and the alternative be the chair or vice chair. Per year, sorry.
Decreased from 3 to 2.
Okay. Okay, so just a clarifying question. We already had a motion on the floor. Was that defeated or
No, this is an amendment.
is amendment? Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah.
Makes more sense.
Yep. Go ahead.
Just should probably use the new title, which is payment review.
Right. Go ahead, Director Moutre.
Just for clarity, is that now one position or two positions? One. Okay, good. That's
Yep. Okay, any other comments on that one? Okay, all in favor of the amendment? That's carried. Anything else? I know Director Moon, anything you want to add? You can see if it flies or you can just leave as it is, whatever your desire.
I still think my own feelings is that the percentages are too high and it should be done gradually over a period of time of 4 years. I'm not asking for a in-depth review every year, but we should have a discussion about it. How is it fitting in? Is it working? Doesn't mean that we have to hash it out over 3 or 4 meetings, but I think that's a more caution way to go about it myself.
Go ahead, Director Moon.
Yeah, I agree with Director Moon. And if it comes to making a motion, I would support that. I also agree that, actually, I lost what I was going to say, sorry. Just one point also, as far as the changes that we've made that are in yellow, will we have an opportunity to relook at that? I know that it's probably not, now's not the time, but
It has to come, like, this is what will come back as a bylaw, then we'll have first and, how does it work on this one? It'll be a first and second? It could be all at one, but we could do first, second, and bring it back for third reading and adoption, so there's those opportunities then.
so now is not the time to make a comment about the stuff in yellow, is that what you're saying?
Sure, go ahead.
Okay, so page 79, when it says the regional district will not reimburse directors for the cost of personal software subscriptions, software, or application purchases. I don't understand that in the sense that if we need some software or an app that is required for the job we do, I don't want to pay for it. It's because I wouldn't buy it personally unless it was for the job. Or is that what it means by personal software? Is like, I don't understand that, because if you have a problem reading documents and you have an app that reads it for you, that I know some directors use, I'm not going to mention who, but why should that director pay for that app if he's required to use that for work? So can you explain if I'm missing something?
Yeah, I can explain that. So the moving forward after the next election, computers and phones will be provided, but they'll be managed devices. So you won't necessarily be able to install your own software on those devices. So Regional District Fraser Fort George, if you need an app or software, we'll provide that app or software, and the regional district, our regional district will pay, but you won't be able to purchase apps yourself. So it's the new way of things. It's the added security that we are required to have for our cyber insurance.
Okay.
So
And will it be, like, will we have to come as a board and agree on any app that gets added if it's outside the norm of what is required?
I think the chair and CAO would figure that out, yeah.
Okay, yeah, perfect. Okay, thanks.
That was your one, Yellow?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. It's gotta be an amendment if you want it to go forward, and it's a vote.
Okay, I would like to put forward the amendment that the increase be done over a 4-year period, and that once a year, the board has a review as to how it's working, I'm not quite sure how to word that.
I think that could be 2 amendments, actually. I'd prefer it as 2 amendments. If you want to make the first amendment as that spread, and then if you want to do one as far as, because it's gonna change, like some people are against doing a 4-year return, or every year bringing that back, right, for that part. So there's 2 pieces to that, so I prefer to see 2.
The first amendment I'd like to see make is that it be brought in, whatever increase that we're looking at here,
It would be with the recommendation.
with the recommendation be taken over a 4-year period.
Okay, seconded by Director Mill. Anybody have any comments or questions on that one, feedback, before I call the question? Go ahead, Director Reese-Christensen.
Oh, there you go. Just playing devil's advocate, but is that 18% over 4 years? Is that what we're talking here then?
You're gonna take that increase that's proposed and divide it into 4.
Just play devil's advocate then, by the time you're done, you're gonna be a lot farther behind than you are now.
Yeah, the value's there now, or it probably, like my thought is, I think there. Hola. Make sure everybody's okay. Make sure it was just dishes. Still upright? Okay. Whew. That was a big one. Yeah, okay. After a little kerfuffle in the kitchen area. Yeah. All right, you're all up to speed on Director Moon's amendment. If there's no more questions, I'll call the question. All in favor? Okay, opposed? Okay, that's defeated. Do you want to go with your second amendment? To at least review it even though that it's not, but you still want to see where we're sitting? Okay, go ahead. That we do a review, a remuneration review once a year.
Okay, the next amendment would be that it gets reviewed each year.
Okay, very good. Any questions or comments on that one? Okay, seeing none, I'll call the question. All in favor? Opposed? And that one's defeated. That's democratic, but it's good, thank you. Okay, so anything further? Because what I'll do now is get clarification from Manager Anderson. We have a amendment that states that the check signer is $2,000 instead of $3,000. And that's where we're at? Okay. So, if there is no further questions, I will call a question. So, all in favor of the recommendation as amended? That's the recommendation. Yeah, that's the recommendation. That's what it is. So it's 1A with the reduction in the check signer or payment reviewer's position. So that's what's on the floor right now. So All in favor of the recommendation? Okay. Okay. Are you? Sorry. Oh, okay. Okay. No problem. Okay. Okay, so I think we have like 2 that were in favor of it. All opposed? 1, 2, 3. Okay, where's the hands, you guys? Okay, opposed. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, so there's 9. So that's defeated.
So where are we?
We're back to square one.
We're in the boardroom, Judy.
So now, yeah, it's back to whatever the board. That's nothing now. So we're status quo. Yeah.
I will move the recommendation with option B in, with the alteration that the check reviewer position be at 2,000.
Option 1B.
Yeah.
Okay. Seconder on that then. You second it? Okay. Director Weed seconds. It's on the floor. So we got option 1B now on the floor. So I'm just going to go back to that one. I don't know. There we go. Okay. So I don't know if you're all familiar with that one, but discussion on it. Go ahead, Director Reese Christensen.
I just don't know if there was some confusion over the first vote or not, because it seems so odd that it went with only one vote. Like, I
Yeah,
was confused.
yeah, that's it. I mean, if everybody's against it, because I mean, what it means is we just stay at status quo. We don't do anything, right? So there's not once every year an increase or anything. It's flat out, we're done. We stay where we're at. So that, just making sure that everybody was clear on that one, and that's where we're at. Yeah, I was just clarifying for him, but yeah. So, go ahead, Director Weed.
Thanks, Chair Parker. Even if we do go with option 1B, I mean, we're at the bottom right now. We go with 1B for 4 years, and we may still be at the bottom after another 4 years, but at least we'll be closer to the rest of the group, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
We won't be right now, but by the time 4 years is up, well, we might be.
Yeah. Any other comments on that? No, I don't see. Go ahead, Director Altry.
Yeah, actually, that is where I'm coming from. I think, I mean, I've been saying it. I think being realistic about the value of the work, getting this table in the middle of the pack, moving forward, and just making that decision and being able to speak to it once makes more sense. So this actually moves more in the direction that I think this table ought to go.
Okay. Director Greenaway, go ahead.
Yeah, CEO Helgeson spoke on a panel that him and Director Elish was on. And I'm just wondering if you could give us a bit more information on what was that panel, like what they said and everything, like let us know where we're kind of standing.
Yeah, Peace River Regional District they'd hired a consultant to do a study report on remuneration. And the preliminary results from that indicate that if we're trying to reach the median in 2024, and we're increasing that median target by 10% to bring us up to 2026, it's looking like we'd actually have to increase by 25% as opposed to 10% to bring us up to the median in 2026 dollars. So even though we're moving to the median and then increasing it by 10% was the recommendation in 1A. It's looking like we're actually going to be further behind by doing that. So median 1B is a little bit closer, but still not probably as close as what we should be. But we don't have the final report, so we'll probably get a copy of that final report maybe in the coming weeks. But we just think we'll probably be further behind the median, so probably at the lowest as well. So that's just an external study that was being done by Peace River Regional District.
Go ahead, Director New.
Okay, I was just.
Oh, sorry.
Go
Go ahead.
Thank you. Because there's so much indecisiveness on this, and if we had that study to look at, maybe we should table this until our next meeting. Sorry.
Go ahead, Manager Lewis. I don't know when that'll come out.
I know the Peace River Regional District plans to actually look at their remuneration bylaw in January. That's what their current plan is. So you may not get the report this term. So I just wanted to give you the heads up.
Okay. Go ahead, Director.
So I don't know if we know this, but when they are comparing the remuneration by regional district, are they comparing similar regional districts? Because there's a lot of difference between different regional districts and the amount of work that would be required, or even what the kind of going wage is for certain areas. It's one thing to make. There's cost of living differences for different spots. So as long as we're comparing apples to apples, then that may be a good tool to help. I don't think it should be the only tool, but it might be a good tool to help to decide what the pay should be. But as long as there's something in there that kind of uses that as a way to make sure we're comparing apples to apples.
Yeah, that's good. Go ahead, Manager Lewis.
The study included all the regional districts, including Caribou North. So it was basically the northern regional districts. So I would imagine that our sort of base rates of pay would all be the same for those areas. So.
Okay. Go ahead, follow up. And then I'll go.
Yeah, so I don't know. That doesn't strike confidence in me that there was an effort to to ensure that we're talking similar things, because I think there is maybe a difference between those different regional districts as well. So, okay, next.
Okay. Go ahead, Director Lambert.
Thanks, Chair. Yeah, could we break that down to per capita? Because the Caribou Regional District probably has twice as many people as we do. Fraser Fort George has probably got 2 to 3 times as many people, 3 to 4 times as many people as we do. So, that would be a very interesting fact to figure out, right? What it is per capita, because, what are we, 34, 35, 36,000? Something like that.
37, yeah.
37, right?
I agree with you, except it doesn't seem to work per capita. So definitely the highest is Caribou. And RDFFG, which is the biggest regional district in that ballpark, is one of the lowest. And so it is what it is. But I think that there's a similar amount of work for each regional district, based on the fact that we're quite rural in the north. Say compared to the Capital Regional District or even some of the Okanagan regional districts. So, there's a good basis there. However, it depends on the will of the board. And, right now, some of the Caribou board has thought that the value of directors is very high and that they have a very high amount of remuneration. And you can take a look at that because we have the Sophie on I think 2 meetings ago. But RDFFG is quite low. So it's the will of the boards. And I know that the boards in all the north are all comparing to each other right now.
Just
Go ahead, follow.
The only other thing I'm going to say with this is that I agree with Director Stoltenberg that this is part of it is that we love our communities that we live in and we want to do this. And if we raise the wages too much, I fear we'll get people in that have the wrong intentions, right? But in saying that, it costs me money to be here. So it's, it's that stupid scale, right? Trying to figure out where we need to be at. So it is frustrating when I have to hire somebody to do something that I could do and I end up losing money coming to work or to here, right? Instead of going to work. But yeah, it's just one of the miserable things with this job, I guess.
You would hope, it might be one bad term, but you would hope that the electorate would notice that somebody's in it for the wrong reason when they are after they compare somebody that comes in out of your area for the money compared to what you're doing as a director, right? They're not gonna put that person back in there again, that's for sure.
And I know the workload, like being in here for 2 terms, has substantially increased. And I don't know if that's just because I got my feet on the ground and could start running, but this term has been way more work than last term. So it just, I don't know, it's it's one of those things, right?
And again, that 0.5% with that option 1A or even on 1B is, we have control of that budget time. Like we can make this a zero increase, like with a quarter of a skid steer or whatever it may be that maybe we don't have to have. I'm not picking on environmental services, but anywhere there that there is it's quite easily though, like I say, if we want to be cost neutral, but we feel it's a better position for the board to have, to raise the bar for better people to come in and be qualified and to be able to at least do it without losing money, like you said, that, that is there. We have control of that budget if we want to be cost neutral on any increases, that's for sure. But
just the only other thing I would say is if the board does decide to stay status quo, that we should, some of these yellow things, like childcare and elder care and those things, we need to add those into it. Those are important adjustments that we could make. But that's just my thoughts.
okay, well, we have a motion on the floor. Did you want to speak to it?
Sure, if we're just wrapping up, I think, Chair Parker, you just said something really significant in terms of this within the overall budget of the regional district. And, in my time here, I've witnessed the regional district board scrutinize costs and look for ways to be respectful of the people who pay the bills, and that is the right thing to do. And I'm not trying to be glib with this, but this speaks to the value of the work. And a couple of you have commented on not wanting people to do this job for the money. Nobody's going to do this job for the money. There's the highest proposed remuneration for a board member is not a wage where someone feels like that's my ticket. People will do this job for the reasons that you've outlined because they care about their community, they're motivated, they've been asked, and people have suggested they take on the role. This reflects some sort of a reasonable compensation for the time you take away from your family, your work, your businesses, and speaks to the seriousness of the job that you're doing. So I don't think you, the concern over people taking this job for the money, I don't think is grounded. That is not the wage that people will seek in order to, find their wealthy ticket there. This is not that. This does provide a reasonable compensation, moves this board into a reasonable rate compared with its peers, and perhaps sets a stage where other people will feel like, okay, well, that's maybe worth the time I'm going to give up from my family, from my work, and away from my community to do work that is valuable. It speaks to the value of the work that's done. And we really only get to do this in advance of an election where it'll be setting the tone for the next group of people at the table. That's the only way this seems to work in local government, and it is the job of the people at the table to make this decision all the time. It's never anyone else, even if it's outsourced, the final decision always comes here. So it's our job to tackle this, and I just think this speaks a little bit to the worth and giving value to the work of the people who are coming in November.
Okay. With option 1B on the table, there's still, again, and I do not want to belabor this, believe me, any more than I have to, but there is options there, like if you wanted to go back and take away the expected meeting pay increase from the 60/90 to the 73/50, and then the average rural director, I'm on page 71, from 1450 to 1750, that all the way down basically brings you back down a little bit if you just didn't want to do the meeting pay piece. Right?
Chair, that's the only difference is the
Yeah.
meeting pay
Yeah.
between 1A and 1B.
Yeah. So again, we have that motion on the floor, if anybody's spoken and changed any thought processes, you could make an amendment to vote on it, taking away the meeting pay if you didn't want that increase. Go ahead.
Yeah, just on near the bottom of page 71, the only other change than meeting pay is the vice chair supplement. There's a difference there as well.
Yeah.
There was a difference on the check or payment signer, but we've already have an amendment to this one to make it $2,000. Thanks.
Yeah. Anyway, did you have something? Go ahead.
Well, no, I'll just wait to see what the result of this is before I make a comment.
Okay.
So are we voting?
I'm just making sure there's no amendments before we vote, because you can, like if somebody wants to amend it to take away that extra increase from, again, back to 1B, you're more than welcome to. If not, we'll vote on it as is. This one won't have, because we voted on the last one, this won't have the amendment to go to $2,000 though, correct?
Yeah.
Oh, did you put it in there? Sorry, I missed that. Okay.
I put it in the motion.
Good job. Way to go. All right. Okay, if there's no further comments or anybody else, this is voting for option 1B to take effect. Go ahead. Yep. All right. All in favor? Okay, so I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And Shane, 6. Sarah, 7. Okay. Can I count again now? It's that close. I'm going to definitely do another count. So all in favor, hands up. Got Shane and Sarah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so that passes by 1. Okay.
Can I have it on the
Yep.
record that I?
Sure, if you want to do opposed, absolutely, we'll do that as well, just so we can get your names down. Go ahead. So Director Newell, Lambert, Moutre, Reese Christian, and Director Moon. And again, it's coming back as in the form of a bylaw now. We'll have it written down, written up. It's going to go for a second reading, and then we'll go third reading and adoption on this one. So there's still an opportunity, but we've got something to work with now as far as the bylaw goes. Okay. Whew. Thank you. Good discussion, though. And I do really, I really appreciate everybody's thought process on this and everybody being conscious of what it means to everybody, whether it's the taxpayers or the role itself. So I do appreciate the feedback that everybody gave. So we'll do a few more here because I'll wait for her to pick up all the lunch off the floor and clean up the dishes. And look on page 86 is from Manager Illich again, our CFO, Local Government Climate Action Program 2025 report for receipt. Thank you, Director Stoltenberg, seconder. Elfie, thank you. Any comments on that one? Feedback. Go ahead, Director Reese Christensen.
Yeah, thanks, Chair Parker. Yeah, I definitely support this. I just wondered, there's funding attached to this as well, is there not every year?
We did receive funding last year, 2024, and it was for a period of 3 years. The program has now ended.
Yep. Any other comments? Go ahead, Director Lambert.
Thanks, Chair. I think a lot of this, isn't really pertinent to our regional district. Some of the regional districts are quite small. Therefore, they can use electric vehicles. Our regional district is not small. And for somebody to get from one end to the other in an electric vehicle, especially in the wintertime, when we have frequent road closures and things like that, I think, some of these, there's other options that we could do. But there almost needs to be a northern version of this and a southern version of this. because we live in two completely different environments. So just some thoughts there that I think it's it's asking more than what we can give, I think, some of it.
Mm-hmm. Do you want to follow up, Director Reese-Christensen again? Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, thank you. I strongly support the development of a climate action plan. I think it as governments, no matter what level we are, we have a responsibility to address this. We look at what's happening in the Cariboo and in the States right now. And article on CBC Radio this morning that, this is going to be increasingly difficult, and there's no way we can continue to deny that this is not climate change. And I strongly believe we need to be taking action and setting an example.
Okay, thanks. Yep, go ahead, Director Attrell.
Yeah, I agree with Director Reese-Christensen, and I think there's other ways as well. So however folks are feeling about whether or not we ought to move to hybrid or EVs is one thing. But I think, at our end of the RD, we've been struggling as well with just waste management. What could we do with composting? What could we do with recovery of that sort of the waste stream? So I think there are other things that could be done that would both support climate action and support the desires of people to actually reduce the amount of waste in the waste stream and perhaps create products out of some of that waste that will also address some of the potential initiatives in a climate action plan. So I think moving in that direction kind of with a full scope and seeing what are the things that we could tackle here that would reduce costs for people, increase service for people, and focus on climate action targets. I think it's probably a great thing to be looking at more fully.
And so in your bullet there, John, in that fourth piece there, Manager, nothing planned in 2026, but there will be work done towards 2027 then, as that's the goal? Get a consultant, okay. Go ahead, Director Newell.
I guess maybe I'm just a little pessimistic, but when I get asked questions like, have community-wide greenhouse gas emissions been measured for your local government or nation? And those kind of questions where it's one thing, us as an organization, how we handle ourselves and what, if we take funding, maybe what we have to abide by. But I just would hate to see this start to bleed into requirements of our the people we represent, having to report greenhouse gas, having to abide by certain measures that, again, may not be applicable or doable or something that they want to do because of where we live. And the example I used before when we talk about this was wood burning stoves. If it ever came to the fact that rural residents use wood burning stoves and they want measurements of what the greenhouse gas output is for that, and they want people to stop doing it. Certain things that we do are much unlike other areas. You're not going to have many people in Vancouver worried about a wood burning stove, and but in the north here, it's part of who we are. It's definitely part of who I am and the people I represent. Is that we do certain things, and yes, they have consequences, but that is who. That's our culture, and that's what we're used to doing. And so I'd hate to see something like this be forced into a situation where we're requiring our constituents to do something that they really, really disagree with. So I don't think we're necessarily there yet, but every time we review this thing, I bring that up because that would really, I would not be behind that, and I'd be willing to forego any of the monetary benefits that this program gives us to make sure that we keep rural culture the way that people want to see it. So, thanks.
Okay, thanks. Okay, any other comments? Seeing none, all in favor of receipt? Carried. I'm wondering some of these will take a while maybe to get through yet too. You're sticking around for lunch, or are you going to head back? You're around anyway? Okay. How about we break for lunch then? It's just after 12. We'll come back at about 22 and we'll move on to the other ones.